Alright, so today, a strange one, nothing to do with Vauxhalls, but I thought I'd do a video on it anyway. So it's obviously summer, everyone wants the convertibles to be working, and it's usually Tigres that I get in to sort. But today I've got an SLK. Well, so I'll tell you a little bit of the story. The guy, the boot won't shut. So the guy brought it round like, oh God, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, and I was just too busy to look at it. So in that time, he has done loads of stuff to it. He's moved the boot, he's tried to line the boot up, he's moved the strikers, the catches, he's even replaced the hydraulic pump for the roof. I don't know why. He's had to replace the relays in the pump twice because he's blown them out. So finally, it's here. It also happens to need an MOT. So, but I'm trying to sort this. Well, initially I was trying to get the boot to shut. So the boot just wouldn't latch on to there. And it doesn't matter how much you adjust this, but you can see the damage that he's sort of, I don't know if that's focusing in, he's damaged the top of here. It's all flattened off with slamming the boot down too much. So I mean, the simple thing to do is, there's loads of space in the boot, just climb in the boot with a torch and see what it needs. The problem with this one is this whole assembly is too far forward. This catch needs to be about here, which means this bar is rotated the wrong way. It's stuck in the forward position. So after stripping everything down, so this catch wouldn't clip in here. This wouldn't lock. So it locks now, but initially this catch was stuck in the open position. That was pulled all the way back there. So you've obviously got the release cable, which was pulled on all the time obviously because that was stuck in the open position. And then the other cable is this, which goes all the way down behind the pump. It's just on that bracket there with a nut. So this cable, after disconnecting that, this cable works perfect because it moves freely, so I can relight the cable. But what that cable is attached to is this hydraulic strut here, which attaches in there. So the issue is this strut is seized. I can force it out, but it's notchy. But it is hydraulic. But I'm gonna see if I can get a replacement for this, because with that being it was sort of stuck down like that. And this one has decided it doesn't want to latch it now. The catch does work, so I'll maybe just have to. Now it was latching before, so I'm not going to adjust it. I think I need the other RAM. I need to get a new RAM. So when I said the problem was that this was too far forward, I'm getting confused with myself now. I think it's actually too far back. Yeah, it's too far. It's too far back, so when the catch comes down, it's just sort of going in front there. So I still think it's got to come back because he's adjusted the boot. You see, it's miles out. He's trying to push everything forward to get it to latch onto there. So I think this bar's got to spin back the way, but I I can't do anything about it until I've got the other hydraulic ram on, because the ram mostly operates this. Just goes all around there and through the back here. Oh, the camera's going all squint. So I need that ram on, and then I need to work the pump, calibrate it and line everything up, and then I can start slackening bolts and adjusting stuff. But I'll obviously have to put this boot lid back to where it was. It's the problem when people faff about with stuff themselves when they don't know what they're doing. None of the guys had to wait a few months, so he's had a go at it himself. But he could have marked stuff, and I mean, if you're doing stuff like this, it involves a lot of lining up. You should definitely mark it where it was originally. It's just it's easier to put stuff back to where it was and not upset the mechanics if you can't get it. So yeah, I'll go and see if I can find a new hydraulic rod for this thing, and then see if we can update you when it arrives, if I can get one. Right, so I've been faffing about with this for quite a while now. So I managed to free off this strut because I can't find one anywhere, so I've got it moving about by hand anyway. So I can pull this whole tailgate up and put it down, no problem. Whereas before I couldn't, that just wouldn't move that shock. That makes sense. Right, so after a lot of faffing about with this striker, the catch, lining up the tailgate, it's miles off its original mark. I now have a boot lid that shuts with minimal effort. And our lines are not bad. I mean, everything's sort of loose and faffing about. Anyway, so sorted that problem okay. Now the problem I've got now is these front catches here won't latch in. That was the point of the camera. Same at this side. But they do latch in if I take off the clamp on here and remove the tension, because obviously not difficult to explain really, but the cable that releases the catch is attached to the bottom of that strut. Not this, the black one. It's on there with a nut. So when the piston goes down, it pulls on the cable and that releases the catch, which makes sense. It's just, so the problem I've got is I don't know if that is supposed to go all the way in before it starts pushing the whole rod down to release it, or if it's a case of calibration, in which case I've got to put all the panels back in, pull the cover, and then work the pump and see if it does what it needs to do to sort itself out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it back together because it costs nothing. Yeah, it costs me nothing to try that, because I don't want to go buying parts when I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if there's a faulty part yet, or if it's just a whole lot of misalignment, because this has all been moved about and adjusted and whatnot, all because the boot wouldn't close on the striker, which was an easy sort, but someone's just faffed about with it, made an ass of it. We've changed the pump, like I say, for no reason at all. I don't know why. So yeah, it's just a bit of a pig of a job, but yeah, I'm going to put the covers back on and get all the switches, the micro switches back up live, and pull the cover and pull the button, and hopefully it will do its thing and latch in properly and whatnot. Here's hoping. Right, so I've put it all back together, shut the boot, and then I've tried to work the roof, and the windows, the 4 windows go down, and then it stops. Now, so I've rattled my brain with this, and I'm convinced that those hydraulic cylinder pistons in the sides here are supposed to close all the way down, because that's the only thing that's stopping these catches clicking in place. Because if I disconnect the cylinders, these click in place no problem. So I'm going to have a look at the cylinders again. I might need to get a couple of replacements. I'm just trying to find information on it. So yeah, I'll go and strip it down again and have a look at the cylinders another time. Yeah, so as I've said, at least 2 people have messed about with this, and I don't know exactly what they have adjusted and stuff. So I don't know if you can see the little bit of exposed strut. I'm sure that's supposed to be all the way closed, because that's what's stopping the catch engaging, because it's pulling on the cable, which is keeping this in the release position. So what I've done is I've got this one closed now. I pushed this all the way in, but I've adjusted this so that this part here is higher, so I can get the pin in. So I'm going to do the same to the other side. I'm going to push the strut all the way in, slacken this nut off, and then you just spin that around to adjust it to match up with the hole, and then put it back together and see if the roof's going to work, or half work, or yeah, we'll just see what it's going to do. So I'm going to do that. Alright, I don't think that's going to work. I'm sure these cylinders are buggered. Because that just won't go all the way down, which is forcing the piston down to keep the catch released. But if I grab it at the bottom, it's just so tight. If I can set it to see what's happening. Just need that piston to compress, and then it clips into place like that. That's where it needs to sit, I think, because now it's clipped in. So I think I'll do that with the other side, clip them in, put it back together, and then if the roof at least goes down, then I mean that's massive progress. And if it won't close again because it won't catch into there, then I know it's because of this, and I think I'll just try and find a couple of replacement cylinders, because I'm just convinced that that's the problem. But I can't find any pictures or someone else with a similar card to have a look to see if that piston's supposed to sit as far down. I'm sure it is. It makes sense to me, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to see if the roof goes down at least. Right, so it's another day. It's Monday today. I give up with this SLK on Friday night or Friday afternoon. So I adjusted those hydraulic lifters in the back. I closed them right up and slid them to the top position so that the side catches would clip in place. And then I tried to lower the roof, and the 4 windows went down, and then nothing was dead. The motor wasn't even working. So I was thinking about it over the weekend and decided that I've never heard the motor run, to be fair, or attempt to, or click or anything like that. So I checked all the fuses under the bonnet, and then I've just pulled the relay out the pump, which was a green GM. It's just a Vauxhall fuel relay. I don't know if I gave him that one to try or what. Anyways, it's just the wrong relay. So I've got a Merc one, which I've just put in. So I'm going to try it now. But yeah, so I had to take all the sides out again. Checked everything again. I've readjusted these so I can't see that one. So that they're fully closed. So that these catches are popped back in now. So they're properly locked. And the boot closes no problem. So yeah, I put that relay in. I'm being a bit lazy. I should probably take out the power probe and just check for power going to it, but I'm just going to try the relay and see if it does anything. It's quicker than getting the probe out. Just try it, and if it doesn't work, then I'll get the probe out and see if we're getting power to the pump. But yeah, like I say, I don't know what's been done to this in the past, so I'm chasing my ass here, trying to find out what's been done and what hasn't been done. So I'll go and fire up and see if the pump's going to make an effort to work. Hopefully it does. Brilliant. So there we go. That's it fixed now. Great news. Yeah, so now I've just got to go and put these covers back in. So that's all back together, working perfect. Panels are back in. I don't know where the side covers are. I guess the guy's got them. I forgot to say, if you wondered how I got the roof working without having all this back in and this switch triggered, I just bridged it with a bit of wire just to see if it worked. So yeah, job done. So I think that the original fault was that the boot lid wouldn't shut. It was out of line. And then it's just escalated from there. This owner's messed about with it, and the guy before it, I think, has messed about with it, or a mechanic previously. I don't know. I couldn't say. But I'm pretty sure the original fault would have been that the trunk wasn't, or the boot wasn't closing properly. I don't know why they've gone to replacing the pump. Maybe the other one doesn't work. I don't know. I haven't tried it. As far as I know, the guy was convinced that the pump didn't work and that's why nothing worked, but I already told him if the boot didn't shut, then you're wasting your time. You've got to start at the start, fix the problems first. So it's actually quite a simple setup. Most of the convertible roofs are the ones I've dealt with anyway. I've never really struggled with anything. But this one's taken longer than it usually would because so many people have messed about with it. But it seems, to me anyway, all I've sorted was I've lined up the boot lid, I freed off that seized hydraulic lifter on the driver's side, and swapped over the relay, and it's got it working again after a lot of fettling and chasing other previous attempts at repairing it. I've sorted all that out, obviously. So yeah, I mean, it's working fine. Pretty simple. But a lot of these videos, or this video has been broken up, so I've probably waffled in a lot of it, so it might confuse a few of you if you're trying to solve this problem yourself. If the video, because I'll just throw it all together, I can't be bothered with too much editing. But if it's a bit confusing or whatever, just drop us a message and I'll try and point you in the right direction, because it seems that these things suffer with roofs a lot, or go out of line. I don't know, I see a lot of stuff online about these roofs, so, but they don't seem to be that technical to me anyway. But yeah, so hopefully it helps you out. Obviously if the boot lid doesn't shut, then there's no point in looking elsewhere. If those front catches then don't lock into place, then that is the next step. And if they don't lock into place, then I mean the only reason could be that the hydraulic lifters are seized, or the wire where like your emergency handles and that is pulled the catches into the open position, so it won't lock in. So that's the next place to look. And then if your motor doesn't make any sound whatsoever, or any attempt or click, then you've got to look at the fuses and the relays. If it does click, then you can be pretty certain that the relay's fine and the motor's dead. And after that, it's just a lot of lining up, I guess. Unless you've got, the only other thing that could go wrong really would be the rams. I've seen there's a ram in the center under the rear screen. There's two at the side. I don't know if there's any other ones. There probably is somewhere, but I never noticed them. They could leak, I guess, over time. The seals could wear out. I mean, this car's 98, so I mean, it's pretty old. It's probably original equipment as well, so it's not the end of the world if they need replaced. I mean, nothing lasts forever. It's just rubber seals at the end of the day. So yeah, well, hopefully it helps you out. If you need help, just give me a shout. I'll do what I can. Nice one. See you after.